Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sienna here with a brand new pick a card video. Today we're going to look at what is going to help your healing process. I'm just going to say straight up, it is hot AF in my house. So I have my sliding glass door open. I have my window open. I'm like pointing to everything that I have open and you guys can't even see it. So at some point you might hear a bird or you might hear, some noises from outside. I do all my videos in my kitchen. So at some point you may hear my refrigerator kick up and start making noise. Hopefully that doesn't distract from the quality of the readings. It shouldn't though, because in literally all of my other videos on this channel from the last year or two, yeah, you can hear the fridge running. With that said, I think you guys know the drill. If you're new to pick a card readings, I'll give you a little explanation. I have 3 decks here to choose from. You pick the one that resonates best with you and then jump to the appropriate timestamp. I will have it in the description and or comments. Sometimes I forget to put it in the description, so definitely check the comments. Okay, that said, I think we're ready to begin. Okay, group 1. If you chose, my camera's on this side. If you were drawn to the Amethyst or just to the Angel's Tarot, then this message will be just for you. What is going to help you on your healing journey? What's going to help your healing process? Okay. Oh, I should also mention, we're going to pull a Morning Sky Oracle card after the tarot. So we're going to pull a few tarot cards and then an Oracle card. I will put a link in, again, either the description or the comments. ShiningHawkHealing.com. This is where you can get this deck. It comes in such a beautiful pouch. I don't know if all the pouches are blue or if they come in different colors. I wish I knew, but either way, Tony puts an immense amount of work into these pouches. She put a crazy amount of work into, I'll show you some of these cards. Look how beautiful. She put a crazy amount of work into those cards. So if you are interested in buying the deck, I will make sure that there's a link for you to do so. Anyways, let's begin. Group 1, what's going to help your healing process? What is going to help you to heal and move forward? Let's see, what do we got? And I'm going to make sure I arrange these cards so that they're all perfectly in frame. Okay, I already like this. This is a good message. Okay, so group 1, okay, there we go. That's a little better. Group 1, what I have here is that you are going to have to take a look at your past, but it's going to be through, I guess, a more logical lens rather than emotional. Actually, another way that Spirit wants me to put this is that you're going to be looking at the past through an objective lens rather than your emotional, subjective, from your own perception. Yeah, perception point of view. And with the 6 of Cups, this has to do with your childhood experiences and the woundings of your inner child. This makes sense. Because the stuff that we go through when we are young, I know I'm constantly dropping cards and picking them up. If you're new to this channel, this is just what I do. But when you're a child, you're so impressionable and your brain is just forming and your survival instincts and all of that, they're still just forming. And it's such a vulnerable time. So, when anything really, really bad happens in childhood, it can have an effect that carries over. For some people, it's for the rest of their life. Whatever it is that happened in your childhood that you have to go back and look at, it would really help to look at it from the point of view why did this person do what they did? It doesn't mean that it makes it okay, whatever happened to you, but it can give you another perspective. So let's think of an example. Okay, So somebody might have gone to school as a kid and had a really mean, abusive teacher, okay? Or just really, really mean, just really hurt your self-esteem, made you feel stupid and small. That can be absolutely traumatic. When you're growing up, your teachers are supposed to be trustworthy and helpful adults that are supposed to guide you, not break you down. You might find yourself asking questions like, what was going on in his mind? Or what was going on in her mind? What was happening in that adult's life that made them so miserable that they felt the need to take it out on a child? You'll come to realize that the problem lies with them, not you. That's going to be like a real theme for your recovery group 1, is whatever you went through at the hands of an adult that was supposed to know better, the problem lied with them, not you. It was their fault. It was their problem. It was their shortcomings that caused them to mistreat you. It was nothing that you did. It had nothing to do with your attitude. It had nothing to do with the way you looked or the way you talked. It had nothing to do with you. It was all them. They were the adult. They should have known better. For whatever reason, they didn't, or they did, but they chose poorly. That's on them. You're going to find so much freedom in knowing that it was not your fault. Not at all. Oh my God, not at all your fault. Something else that's going to help your healing process, group 1, is talking to your inner child. And you can do that through journaling, through meditations where you set the intention of sending messages back to your inner child. You can literally just talk to yourself out loud. That's what I do all the time, to my inner child and to my present self, to all versions of myself sometimes. Saying things like, that was not your fault. Or you could say things like, you are a good kid. And you don't use the past tense, it'll say were, because everything just is all at once, if that makes sense. For some reason, I think it sticks better when you use present tense. When you're talking to your inner child, you say, you are safe now. I will keep you safe. I can't guarantee the world will be safe, but you are safe with me. I love you. I will protect you. I am here for you. I will guide you. Think about all of the beautiful things about you. There's beautiful things about all of us that never go away. So, that could be like your spark of creativity. That could be the childlike joy and innocence. And I know that one's kind of tricky because a lot of people think that you can lose that innocence or lose that joy. It's almost like it doesn't really get lost, it just gets locked away. And you can tap back into this when you are older through meditation and different, I think there's hypnotherapy to get in touch with your inner child. Oh my gosh, there are so many different ways you can do this. Meditation is a huge help though. There are tons of guided meditations on YouTube to help you connect to your inner child. I actually have another pick a card video from a couple years ago, and it is a message that your inner child needs to hear. So for you, group 1, that might be a really, really useful video to go to after you're done here. But what's going to help your healing process, thinking about the past objectively, why was it like that? I wonder why. What was wrong with them? And know that it was something wrong with them, not you. I'm going to repeat that as many times as I want because it's important that you hear it and you know it and you embody it and you understand it. And that will all come with time. Treat your inner child with love and kindness, even if back then maybe you didn't really love yourself or you didn't like yourself or you didn't even know how to love yourself back then. Now you can learn how. You are safe now. Your inner child is safe now. And just remind him or remind her every day, I love you. You are safe. And okay, something that's going to really help. Spirit's telling me to tell you guys about Ho'oponopono. That is, it's a Hawaiian spiritual practice. Ho'oponopono basically means to make right. Or they use ponopono twice, so it's like to make double right, to make something extra right. You can visualize your inner child. This is a lot easier to do through meditation. So you can like sit, get quiet, take a few deep breaths, just calm down, visualize your younger self, and maybe sitting on the couch next to you, or you're sitting outside together, or whatever. It doesn't really matter where you visualize that inner child, but visualize them and look at them. You can imagine holding them or cuddling or holding hands or something that conveys to your inner child that you're here to help and that you're here to spread love. And you say to them, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more. I'm sorry means I take responsibility for my healing. It also means I'm sorry for what happened to you. I'm really sorry that you were mistreated or you were abused, or I'm sorry that you experienced a trauma, or I'm sorry that you lost that loved one at such a young age. The please forgive me part means like, please forgive yourself for not knowing what to do, or forgive yourself for the decisions you made as a result of what happened to you. Forgive yourself for the perceptions you had of yourself due to whatever it is that somebody else had done to hurt you. I love you. That's pretty self-explanatory. I love you. You are valid. You are a good kid. You are worthwhile. You are worth protecting. You are beautiful. You are kind. You are smart. You are exactly who you need to be, and you are more than enough. And then thank you means thank you for surviving so that I can thrive. Thank you for still being here on this earth. Thank you for choosing, because some people, this situation is so tragic that they think about taking their life. And if you're still here, even though in the past you thought about it, first of all, thank you for being here. I know it's probably not been easy, but I'm glad you're here, and there are many who are glad you're here. So tell this to your inner child. Thank you for being here. Even if taking your life never ever crossed your mind, the thank you for being here just means like, thank you for surviving. Thank you so much for being as strong as you could be at that time. And then to your inner child, you say like, I'll take it from here. Thank you for being so strong and so brave. I'll take it from here. So, ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Tell this stuff to your inner child as many times as you want and need. Sometimes when I'm really struggling, thinking about the past and maybe some of the bullying I went through or an abusive relationship that I had been in the past as a teenager, I go back and I meditate and I visualize that younger version of myself, and I say that to her. I'm sorry for what you went through. Please forgive yourself for not knowing what to do at the time. I love you. You're valid, you're worthwhile, you are worth being safe and protected. And thank you. Thank you for still being here so that for being here. Thank you for surviving so I can thrive, like I said earlier. It's really going to help. Oh my God, I can't pick up these damn cards. You know what? It's okay. We got a little bit heavy there, so we needed some comic relief. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Cups. This is walking away. It doesn't mean that your trauma goes away permanently, because depending on what you've been through in life, some things, I will admit, are easier to get through and move on from than others. Some things you are going to have to heal from again and again as it comes up. And it's okay. You are strong enough to deal with that. You are strong enough to do that. And every time that same thing comes up and you work through it, And that could be through meditation. It can be through a spiritual practice. I highly recommend therapy if you're not already seeing a professional therapist. There are secular therapists, there are spiritual therapists that, it just depends on what resonates best with you and what you feel is going to help you most. Anyways, professional help, I cannot stress that enough. That's really going to help you to get through this time, group 3. Every time that something painful comes up, and it can be different things that come up, it can be the same thing that comes up. This is what I was talking about before I went on the professional therapist tangent. Every time that you sit with your feelings and you objectively look, why did they act that way? They did it because of something wrong with them. You send love and validation. You do that Ho'oponopono practice for your inner child. You talk to a professional. You get all of that stuff out of your thoughts, get it off of your chest, so to speak. It will help you to heal little bits at a time. Some things you got to do it again and again and again and again. But the healing, it works. I mean, you might be able to heal, let's say the first time that a trauma comes back around and you go to therapy and you talk about it, or you get some spiritual guidance for it and you heal. You heal part of that trauma. The next time it comes around, you heal another part of the trauma. The next time it comes around, you heal another part of the trauma. And it just builds and builds and builds on itself. So group 1, take a look at your past through an objective lens. Send love to your inner child. And the more that you work through this stuff, and you don't have to spend every single day on it until it's completely healed, because no, you have to live your life. But every time that it does come up and you work through it, you will get better and better and better and stronger and stronger. And now we're going to pull a Morning Sky Oracle card. I'm going to... Oh, the whole deck was facing the wrong way, so I would have had some cards facing backwards. So we're going to shuffle up and we're going to get an oracle message for you, group 1. What is going to help your healing? Okay. Whoa. Oh, that one. I think you guys get 2. Those 2 just came slipping out. Choose. Choose. I kind of like this. Do you see yourself still as a victim? Or do you see yourself as some people use the word survivor? I'm going to take it a step further and say, are you a victim, a survivor, or a thriver? Because survival, I don't want to say it's the bare minimum, but sometimes it is. Thriving is when you have grown from what you've been through, not just got through it alive, but you've grown from it, you've learned from it, and you've gained wisdom from it. Are you a victim, a survivor, or a thriver? And our other card is Healthy Habits. This is really going to help you to heal. So like that Ho'oponopono, the inner child, there are so many different ways to heal your inner child. You could maybe make a habit out of that. And it doesn't have to be like a big serious thing, 20 minutes sitting in the lotus position, meditation. It can just be like you get up in the morning and you give gratitude for the universe for waking up alive and breathing on your own, or, whatever it is. And then maybe you're looking in the mirror, getting ready in the morning, and you look into your own eyes, because the eyes you look into, those are the eyes of your inner child too. And you tell that inner child, I love you. You are safe with me. You are a good kid. You are a great person. And then, of course, there are other healthy habits, like, making sure that you eat properly, eat maybe healthy things, or you eat regularly. It doesn't have to be like intensive exercise, but you get some movement in every day, just a little bit of movement in, maybe a little bit of stretching, a little bit of walking. Some people love working out and going to the gym. If that's what you like, then great. And then another thing about healthy habits is like healthy spiritual habits, healthy mental habits. And this is why I highly recommend professional help of some kind, because the therapist or the counselor or the coach or whoever you're talking to can help you to develop like a healthy routine, a healthy schedule, healthy thought patterns, help you identify thought patterns that don't serve you, that hurt you, and think about how you can change them. Okay, so group 1, that was your message. I hope that this helps you a lot. Let me know in the comments down below if this helped, if you liked it, if you have any other thoughts on your reading. I would love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future pick-a-card readings, again, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical if you have not already done so. Share this video with somebody that might really benefit from it. And that actually helps my channel to grow. And when my channel grows, I can reach more people. I can help more people. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up right here. See you again very, 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 very soon. Bye. All right, group 2, if you were drawn to this shiny, I think it's pyrite. I don't know. I've had this stone since I was a kid. I think it's pyrite. If I'm incorrect, somebody in the comments knows what the heck it is. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's beautiful. Or if you were drawn to the Black Tarot, this message is for you. What's going to help you on your healing process. And actually, this is one of my newest decks. I did have an unboxing video. No, I shouldn't say I did have. I do have an unboxing video. So, you know, maybe I'll put a card here or whatever, where I go through the deck and we look at all of the art and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to pull 3 tarot cards, and then we're going to pull a Morning Sky. There, now you can see a Morning Sky Shamanic Oracle deck made by Tony Shining Hawk. You can see on the pouch, shininghawkhealing.com. This is where you can get the deck. I will have a link in either the description or in a pinned comment, so that you can actually go to her website, to her store, and purchase the deck. She's put so much work into. She made the pouches. I don't know if they all come in this like lovely teal blue or if they're different colors. I'm not really sure, but she's put a ton of work into this, and these cards, they're so, so beautiful. And we're going to pull one of these oracle cards right at the end of your reading. So, group 2. We are going to pull some cards. What's going to help you along your healing journey? Now, these cards are brand new. They're a little bit slippery, so bear with me as I do my best to shuffle. Okay. Group 2, what's going to help you to heal? Oh yeah, these ones they're not like sticky as in like unpleasant, you know, not like sticky as in you have honey on your fingers, but just sticky as in, I think they're a little bit staticky because they're just so brand new. Ooh. And sometimes 2 cards like to come out at once. Okay. All right. So first of all, we have 6 of Wands. Think about your strengths. What are you good at? And that could be, you know, like things like your hobbies. Maybe you're really creative. Maybe you're good at art. Maybe you're good at music. Maybe you're good at sports. I don't know, whatever. Whatever it is that you're good at. I think other things you can be good at, that can also be like spiritual. Like you could be like a really good psychic. You could be a really strong medium. You could have really strong intuition. Let's see, other things you could be good at. You could be a really good listener. You could be really good at providing insight and advice. You could be a really caring, compassionate, sweet person. These are all strengths. Think about your strengths. That's what I should say, not just what you're good at. Your strengths can be what you're good at, what you love to do, what you're passionate about, what comes naturally to you, what makes you feel good about yourself. Journaling might really help with this. Excuse me. And I'm just going to say some people might feel silly when they start doing this, thinking about their strengths and journaling this stuff and writing it down. Some people are not used to thinking about themselves in such a positive way. Group 2, I already get the impression that you had been criticized maybe most of your life, or the criticism that you received just cut so deep that it has an effect on you and you're healing from it. Think about what makes you strong and what makes you unique. Also know, 6 of Wands is actually all about victory and like good outcome, and you did it, you succeeded. Your healing process is going to continue. It's not like it's, a few years of shadow work or a few years of, some people call it shadow work, some people call it trauma clearing. It's all the same thing. So it's not like, I do a couple years of this work and then I'm good for the rest of my life. No, healing is a continual process. But after a while, it will come so naturally that it doesn't even seem like you're doing any hard work at all. Write down the things that you like about yourself. Maybe, it's stuff like you're a good listener. Maybe you have an excellent sense of humor. Maybe you are a great parent and, you're doing the best you can to teach your kids how to be good people. That counts. That really counts. Maybe you'll write down the things that you find beautiful about yourself, and that could be physically or otherwise. But the 6 of Wands is definitely saying that you have to set yourself up for success. The only one who can set you up for success is you. Okay, and now with Queen of Swords, the criticism that you experienced in your life, Group 1 has a similar message. There's this message of like looking back on your past through an objective lens. So think about, the crappy things that people have said to you. Or, maybe you don't have to think about it. Maybe just something already jumps to mind. What was going on in them that made them feel like it was okay to talk down to you or to give you... Now, there's a difference between constructive criticism, which is meant to be helpful, and just straight up pointing out flaws and, criticizing just to be hurtful. If somebody has criticized you just to be hurtful, it's worthwhile to go back and think what was happening inside of them that made them feel like it was okay to do that. A lot of times people will bring others down to slightly feel better about themselves. It's very temporary. It's a very temporary, I'm not even going to call it a fix because it's not. It's kind of like a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches, okay? I think you can get what I'm saying here. Some people just have so much inner pain and their own inner critic is so loud that they feel like the only way to liberate themselves from the way that this all feels is to make somebody else feel as crappy as they do. So that might be worth thinking about. And then, in the case of constructive criticism that maybe, did hurt your feelings, it's like, well, what was their intent? If they were really trying to help, then they were trying to help. They probably, there's times where you get constructive criticism and they're not trying to hurt you, but they're just trying to help give you advice because maybe they see something that you did not notice. Maybe there's just an area that needs to be worked on that is just not obviously apparent to you. And that happens a lot in many areas of life. So that could be like with your job performance. That could be with, like stage performance. If you are, a thespian or a creative type, it could be with like your videos on YouTube or, whatever it is. If it was meant to just be helpful, you can accept that they were just trying to help. And you have a choice. You can accept what they had to say and think about it and, maybe go, okay, well, if I did what they suggested, how might this turn out? Or, how I see what they're suggesting, but how can I do that in a way that best suits me? Like, how do I do that in a way that I know best how to do. Some points of constructive criticism, I mean, you are free to just ignore. Even hurtful criticism, you're free to just ignore it. And when it comes to the hurtful kind, that's usually the best thing to do, is just go, you know what? That's their opinion. And, you know, if they were really saying something nasty and awful to you that obviously wasn't meant with like helping intention, you are free to just disregard it. That's easier said than done because you have the emotions attached and all of that. But this will help you to sort of release the emotional pain. Page of Swords. Now, it's not just criticism, actually. I won't completely go back to Queen of Swords, but Page of Swords, it's maybe not just criticism you went through. There's like verbal abuse. Some of you guys in group 2, and if that's the case, I'm very, very sorry. That is it's so hard to heal from sometimes. But you also got to think of this objectively. They were obviously miserable if they thought it would be okay to like call you names or to embarrass you in public or to just make you feel like absolute shit about yourself. There was something wrong with them, not you. And now they got that saying, hurting people hurt people. So people who have pain on the inside sometimes will try and spread the pain so that they don't feel like they're the only one who's experiencing it. Sometimes people who are hurting inside accidentally hurt others. They may not even realize that they've hurt you. Again, the problem lies with them, not you. Somebody like verbally or just mentally, psychologically abusing you, because these swords, they're all about the mind, they're all about the words. They have such a deep pain, a deep wound. They perceive like they have an emptiness or something inside. Some people, like I was saying earlier, some people just think, well, if I make them feel like crap, I'll feel better for a little bit. Maybe they don't consciously think that, but unconsciously, they definitely do. Some people simply don't have the maturity to treat others with kindness and respect. There's some kind of stunting in their personal growth, and I'm not talking about like, not stunting as in like developmental delays or anything like that. I'm just talking about like being emotionally stunted and, somebody who definitely could know better, but they just don't. Or they just act like they don't know better. Anyways, for you guys, group 2, I feel like immaturity played a huge role in why whoever it was said awful, horrible things to you and made you feel like you weren't good enough, or they criticized you, or they made fun of you. Sometimes, Spirit's giving me the example. Actually, there's 2 examples that Spirit's giving me. One is like a classroom of kids, where you put your hand up to answer a question or you're called on, you accidentally say the wrong answer or whatever, and everybody laughs because, oh my God, you're stupid, you should have known that. Or the other example is like in a family, maybe you grew up with siblings where you made fun of each other, you teased each other, you called out the tiniest mistakes. Maybe somebody pronounced a word wrong, and for the next couple of weeks, your siblings are laughing about it and making fun of you and just not letting it go. Or you make some other kind of small mistake and they just bring it up at every opportunity and they don't let it go. Okay, those are the 2 examples, like a classroom of kids doing that, or like a family of kids, and maybe it's adults in your family doing it. It comes down to a lack of maturity and a lack of understanding that what I do to you, I do to myself, and what I do to myself, I could end up affecting you. The person or the people who were like making you feel stupid and making you feel less than, I really feel like they treat themselves, or they treated themselves that way too. Their own inner critic just wouldn't shut up. And they, sometimes when you have thoughts that play out over and over and over again in your head, you start to believe them. And sometimes you start to believe something, you think about it enough, you start to talk about it, you start to express it. I think that's what was going on with them. Like I said, putting a Band-Aid on something that definitely needs stitches. So making you feel bad to make them feel better for a minute, instead of going deep within and looking at what needs to be healed, getting the help that they need, and minding their own damn business. This was them, not you, honey. So it helps to remember all of the good, amazing, brilliant, wonderful things about you. And I know, excuse me, for some people that's really, really hard because they're not used to having nice things said to them, or they've never really thought about themselves in a positive way. Excuse me, guys, I have a frog in my throat today. All right. But just like with the negative thoughts that you believe, you hear them over and over and over, and then you believe them, you can actually do this with positive thoughts. And writing stuff down is really, really, really helpful, because it's almost like, I guess when you write it down, it's almost like a physical representation of what you're trying to embody. So like maybe you have a notebook, and on every single page or every time that you write in it, it can be the same list over and over of the things you love about yourself. It can be different stuff depending on how you're feeling and what you've been learning and doing in life. But just the fact that it's over and over and over again, emphasizing those good things about yourself. I am kind. I am smart. I am a good listener. I am funny. I am beautiful. I am creative. I am talented. I am divine. I am more than enough. Over and over and over again, you will start to believe this stuff. It takes some dedication, takes time. It could take professional help for some people, and that's okay. Spirit really wants you to start working on this. Make lists of just all the wonderful, beautiful things about you. And you might feel self-centered or narcissistic doing it, but it's totally not like that at all. This is healing. You have the right to love yourself, and you have the right, just as and I think a lot of you are kind to others, but not to yourself. The same way in which you are kind to other people and you try to help other people remember all of their strengths and good things, you got to do it to yourself. It's time to start doing this for yourself. All right, and so group 2, I'm going to shuffle this lovely oracle deck. I'm going to pull a card for you, and that's going to be just some further advice on what's going to help you to heal. This one wants to fall out. Okay, Bear Spirit. Now, this deck doesn't have a guidebook. I think on her website she has her interpretations. I just haven't actually checked it yet, so I am going to just go off my intuition, what my intuition is saying. Tap into your inner strength with that bear spirit. We know bears as being big and tough, and you don't want to mess with them. Tap into that part of you that doesn't take any crap. That part of you that is like, okay, I'll do no harm, but I will take no crap. Tap into that. And as you heal and as you start remembering all these positive qualities about you, you start remembering your strengths, you'll kind of start to step into that stronger version of yourself. And with the water on this card, water is another really good symbol for, I think, for strength, because like, we have this big wave here. Those big waves are powerful. They have the ability to completely wipe you out. But at the same time, water it also just flows. So when the wave crashes, the water just flows. Just go with the process. You are strong, but just go with the flow. And that is my message for you, group 2. If you really liked this, make sure you give a thumbs up on the video or leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you have any suggestions for future pick a card videos, because I like doing these, and I need all the ideas I can get. Okay. Like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical if you've not already done so. Check out shininghawkhealing.com if you are interested in the deck. I will put, like, I think I said that before you're reading. I'll put a link in the description or in a pinned comment or something. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you again very, very, very soon. Bye. All right, group 3, if you were drawn to, oh my God, can you hear the chipmunk outside? Oh, I'm so distracted now. I love, oh my God. I live in an apartment, so I don't get a yard or anything like that, but the neighbors in the house next door to our building have such a big, beautiful garden, and they have trees. They have like, oh my God, so many different trees and plants, and they get chipmunks and squirrels and just tiny little creatures like that. Oh, I love it so much. I love just the little happy little chirpy sounds. Okay. If you were drawn to this nice, lovely, shiny black shungite heart, or you were drawn to the Bob's Burgers Tarot, this message is going to be just for you. What is going to help you on your healing path? And now I will pull 3 tarot cards, and then actually I'll show you. We will pull a Morning Sky Shamanic Oracle deck made by the lovely Tony Shining Hawk. Her website is right here, shininghawkhealing.com. I will put a link in the description or a pinned comment or somewhere where you'll find it, where if you are interested in buying the deck, you can go and do that, or you can just check it out on her website, check out the interpretations of the cards and stuff. Anyways, we're going to pull 3 tarot cards for you guys, group 3. And then we're going to pull an oracle card. So what is going to help your healing process, group 3? The little chipmunk out my window sounds like he's beatboxing. We had a little chipmunk out last night, and my husband, or my fiance, said the same thing. This little guy had like a rhythm going and everything. My fiance's like, wow, he's like got some sick beats here. So cute, so cute. Anyways. Okay, so group 3, the first thing I want to say is that now we got the Tower next to 7 of Pentacles. This is showing me that whatever it is you're healing from happened a long time ago. That doesn't make it any less valid. That doesn't make your pain any less valid. But the short answer here is that being distanced from your pain will help you with your transformation process. But let's take a look here at this Tower. The Tower represents it's like a sudden, abrupt change, chaos, something that happens in life that you just were not expecting, you weren't prepared for. It can be traumatizing, it can just be extremely stressful. Whatever event it was, it did cause you to need some healing. Now we are, look at this. Okay, we got Jonas with his dumb melodica in the episode where this scene actually takes place. He's that blonde guy. He's playing his melodica, and it's incredibly annoying, but that's part of the joke. It's really funny. And then we have Tina, who's trying so hard to maybe get into the tower, into the lighthouse. In the episode, she's trying to get in. But on this card, we can interpret it as she's trying to get in or she's trying to get out. What I'm really feeling here for you guys is this is you trying to get out from, you know, the pain that you had been through in the past. 7 of Pentacles. This is a card of usually like the harvest coming in, if that makes sense. Like the maybe the trauma planted some seeds of, I don't know, something in you. Could be seeds of like mental health struggles, addiction. You know, there's so many other ways in which people try to cope with trauma and pain. And over time, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like shaped who you are, but maybe it has. The only reason I didn't want to say shaped who you are is because I don't want people to think that they are their trauma. Because no, the trauma is something that happened, but you are the wisdom that you gain, and you are what you learn from the trauma. There's something else here about gratitude. And that's kind of a sticky one because it's really like, I don't know, I think it's really weird to say to someone to be grateful for what they went through. I think what this is saying, though, is be grateful for what you have learned. Be grateful that you made it out the other side of whatever this tower moment situation was. Remembering that time, that some time has passed and that you are a little bit removed from the situation, it is going to help you, I think, with your healing process. But there's definitely something about having like gratitude and taking stock of what you have now. And that could be, for some it's like, well, I'm really grateful that this isn't happening to me anymore. Or I'm really grateful that this is not happening to my kids. Or, I went through this and I'm going to make sure you don't go through this. Have gratitude that you're making the decision to help others not to go through your pain, because there are so many people in the world, there are too many people in the world who say, well, I went through this and now so should you. Oh, I turned out okay, so should you. No, you didn't turn out okay. You turned out with trauma. But you will be okay. If you do the work that you need to do for your healing, you get the help that you need to get. Spirit's saying here, actually for you guys group 3, you're not one of those people that said, well, I went through it and so should you. You're not bitter. Take a sigh of relief. Spirit's saying, have a sigh of relief and go, thank God I'm not bitter. Thank God this didn't make me too cynical. Now I know trauma can make people very cynical, very jaded, I don't like using the word negative, but pessimistic. And, if you are kind of in that mindset because of what you've been through, I'm not going to judge you. Nobody should judge you for it. Don't even judge yourself for it, because it makes sense. It really does. I understand why some people get into that state of mind after a trauma. And just know that as time goes on, some things may hurt less and less. And I will admit, some things are much easier to get through than others. Some traumas or, some heartbreaks, some, I don't know, Spirit's giving me the example of a relationship breakup. Some of you in group 3 could be going through that right now. It could have happened a few months ago. For some of you, I'm picking up it happened like a year ago, but you're still kind of reeling from it. You're still struggling. As time goes on, your heart will heal. And the more removed you are from that person, that situation, those memories, you will heal. Now we're going to kind of get into this death card next to 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, here we have Mort the Mortician with his terrible wig. He's a really funny character on the show, played by Andy Kindler. Very good comedian. Anyways, point is, your transformation and change might be happening a little bit more slowly than you want it to. You may be like, well, this thing happened years ago. Why does it still bother me? Or like, this happened months ago. Why is it still bothering me? You're just still healing. And sometimes feeling bothered by what happened to you, that's completely normal. That's completely natural. Sometimes our human brains really hold on to that kind of stuff because it thinks it's protecting us from, going through that again in the future, or that encountering that perceived danger again in the future. Your transformation is actually happening right now as we speak. Pain is part of this process. And it sucks, and it hurts, and I'm really, really sorry. But just know that your struggle's not in vain. You are growing. There's a song, actually it's from Bob's Burgers. And I don't know if I'm going to sing it for you guys. I kind of have that frog in my throat. But basically, and actually, I don't want to get DMCA'd. So you know what I'll do is I'll just say it to you like a poem. There's a song on the show, and it goes, if you had good times and you had good rhymes, you think you found your one and only. The one you like says take a hike, and suddenly you're lonely. Still be glad even if you're sad. Take comfort just in knowing you'll be okay. In the show, it's Valentine's Day, so that's what they say. It's Valentine's Day. You can also substitute that line for you'll be okay. It's a brand new day. And then the part that Spirit's emphasizing here is your heart is not broken. It's growing. You're growing from your pain. You're not becoming bitter. You won't stay, if you're in that pessimistic, jaded, cynical state of mind, you're not going to stay there. You're actually going to transcend that level of vibration. It's okay. It's going to be okay. This is just part of your process. You're not going to stay bitter. You're not going to stay pessimistic. You're not going to stay that way. If you are, in fact, kind of like that at the time being that you see this. I don't know. Does that make sense? Whatever. Your heart is not broken. It's growing. You are not broken. You are growing. You have growing, growing pains. That's what Spirit's telling me. It's like spiritual growing pains right now, emotional growing pains. Life is not always an easy process, okay? Growth is not always easy and comfortable. I'm sure a lot of you remember being kids, or maybe you have kids and you're starting to see this in them, but definitely I remember being a little kid laying in bed and my legs would ache. Oh my God, my legs would hurt. They'd be so sore. And sometimes I would take a Tylenol or an Advil just to sleep and they would still hurt. And some nights it was whatever, I could ignore it, and some nights it was unbearable. It wasn't that my legs were broken. They were growing. My body wasn't broken, it was growing. Your soul is not broken, you're growing. This is okay. You're going to be okay. This transformation, Spirit's giving me the word permanent. This is a good thing. Permanent transformation. You will become wise. You actually already are wise. You may not even be aware of how wise you are because of what you learned from the trauma and what you learned from the healing process. Your healing will stick. It will be permanent. Some things you may have to go back and revisit and heal from. Some things you may have to forgive, or you may have to forgive yourself again and again and again. But the more you do this, the more the healing sticks. Absolutely. Something else to have gratitude for is that you are growing. And I keep emphasizing that. Growing, growing, growing. This is amazing. It's not amazing that you've been through so much pain, but what's amazing is just like what you're becoming. Okay, so another image Spirit wants to give me to tell you guys, they're showing me the image of a dandelion or little flower growing out of the crack in a sidewalk. Or a crack in the sidewalk. Whatever. It's been a long morning. First, when somebody puts down a sidewalk, the Public Works or whoever in your town does it, they got to dig up the ground, and it disrupts it disrupts the plant life. It disrupts, this is all symbolic, by the way, just as when they put in a sidewalk, it disrupts the ground, your trauma maybe disrupts your life. It disrupts your sense of well-being and your sense of peace and security. Okay. And then they put the concrete over it and the concrete hardens and it dries. Okay, eventually it breaks down. So eventually you start to sort of break through the shell that the trauma has sort of encased you in. And often you will see little weeds or little blades of grass or little dandelions, little things poking up out of the cracks in the cement. Because life always continues. Yep, that ground was dug up. There was stuff, concrete poured on top of it. But the fact that a dandelion pops out through the cracks means that there is life beginning anew underneath of the concrete. And that maybe there's little bits of grass, little bits of life growing under there. You are stronger than what you've been through. You're stronger than what other people have put on you. You're stronger than what other people have done to you. Your transformation, your growth is permanent. Your healing, it will stick. You are so strong. You might be aware of it at this point. Some of you might not. And for those of you who are not aware of this, you are strong. You might not feel like it, but you are. Strength isn't just in feeling brave or feeling strong or feeling energetic. Strength is going through your life and doing what you need to do regardless of how you feel. Going through your healing process, no matter how much it might hurt to revisit certain memories. You're growing. Nobody can stop you from growing. Another thing to have gratitude for. Nobody will stop you from growing. Nobody can. No one has that right, and nobody on earth has that ability. Okay? So now we're going to pull a Morning Sky Oracle card. Just another little perspective on what's going to help you to heal. What do we have for you guys, group 3? I'm going to pull one out of the middle. That's just how I operate. Soul, you are a luminous being. Nothing will take away the light that is within you. Nothing will take away that spark of life that you are. Nothing and no one will take away your true self, your true core of love and light, your true divinity. Nobody can take that away from you. This is a time where you're starting to take back your divinity. You're starting to reclaim your power and your strength. You're starting to take back your light, your love. You are a luminous being that will never, ever be ripped from you. Nobody has the right to do it. Nobody has the ability to do it. Nobody can remove the divine from you. Okay? You're going to be okay, group 3. You're growing. It's going to be, I know it might be really hard. It might feel awful sometimes, but you are so strong. You become stronger every day. You become stronger and more healed every time you deal with the stuff that comes up. You're transforming. You're remembering who you are as this beautiful, luminous being, and nobody will take that away from you. Okay, so group 3, that was your reading. I really, really hope that helped. If it did, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Let me know in the comments if you have suggestions for future pick a card readings. If you liked this video, remember to like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical if you've not already done so. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you very, 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 very soon on my channel. Bye!